On the world news, Hurricane Ernesto hit homes and businesses without power in Puerto Rico, and Thailand swears in youngest PM. A beautiful afternoon to you, and thank you for joining us on the world news on Providence Television International. Edna Caesar Garrick is my name. Hurricane Ernesto is heading for Bermuda, having crossed Puerto Rico, where it left more than half a homes and businesses without power. With wind gusts of 100 mph, Ernesto has now strengthened to a Category 2 hurricane. The U.S. National Hurricane Center, NHC, says in its latest bulletin at 3 GMT on Friday. It warns that Ernesto could be near major hurricane strength on Friday and is expected to pass near or over Bermuda on Saturday. The NHC adds that a dangerous storm surge with large and destructive waves and significant coastal folding is expected. Bermuda is in British territory made up of 181 islands in the Atlantic Ocean. Forecasters have previously warned of the role of climate change in making storms like this one more intense. Ernesto swept past Puerto Rico on Thursday night. Puerto Rico's main power supplier, Luma Energy, was reporting that some 410,000 customers did not have access to electricity by around midday Thursday, according to reports. John Saka, Luma's president and chief executive, said more than 1,500 employees were working in the field to re-establish service and switch the electricity back. Puerto Rico's power grid has been wiped out before by hurricanes. In 2022, when Hurricane Fiona hit the island, around 80% of homes and businesses were cut off for almost a month. Ernesto is the fifth named Atlantic storm to occur this season. Hurricane Belle was the earliest Category 5 storms on record in the Atlantic when it swept through the Caribbean and Texas Gulf Coast last month, killing dozens of people and leaving millions without electricity. Earlier this year, U.S. weather agency NOAA learned that the North Atlantic could get as many as 7 major hurricanes of Category 3 strength over this year, which could be more than double the usual number. While there is no evidence climate change is producing more hurricanes, it is making the most powerful ones in making the more likely and bringing heavier rainfall. Away from that now to Thailand, where its parliament has picked Puttongran Shinawatra, the daughter of billionaire tycoon and former leader Thaksin, as prime minister. At 37, she will be the country's youngest PM and the second woman in the post after her aunt Yingluck. Her election comes 2 days after former PM Shrita Thavisin Singh was dismissed by a constitutional court. Both are from the Pheu Thai party, which came second at the 2023 election but formed the ruling coalition. Ms. Puttongran faces the difficult task of reviving Thailand's stalled economy and avoiding the military coup and court intervention, which have deposed 4 previous administrations led by her party. He was visibly overwhelmed, saying her hands were trembling from excitement. She acknowledged that she is neither the best nor the most talented one in the room. Ms. Puttongran, who received 319 endorsements and 145 against the vote, is the 4th member of the Shinawatra clan to become prime minister in the past 2 decades. The other 3, including her father Thaksin and aunt Yingluck, were deposed by military coup or constitutional court ruling. The same court dismissed Mr. Thaksin on Wednesday for appointing to his cabinet a former lawyer who was once jailed. Ms. Puttongran's appointment brings fresh energy to Thailand's top leadership. Members of Pheu Thai may also be holding out hope that she can help retrieve the party's political fortune. And moving on to India now, where its doctors have called for a nationwide shutdown of hospital services as public fury over the rape and murder of a trainee medic in the eastern city of Kolkata last week grows. The Indian Medical Association, IMA, the country's largest grouping of medics, said 24-hour shutdown would be implemented on Sunday, affecting most hospitals' departments, except 4 as of people took to the street in several cities to express their outrage at the rape and murder of a 31-year-old trainee doctor. whose brutalized body was found on August 9th at Kolkata State-run GR Medical College and Hospital. Multiple medical unions in both government and private system have backed the strike. Doctors in government hospitals across several states on Monday had halted elective services indefinitely in protest. Reports say the murdered doctor was found in the teaching hospital's seminar hall, suggesting she had gone there for brief resting during a long shift. An autopsy confirmed sexual assault. Doctors say the circumstances of the rape point to the vulnerability of medics left without proper protection in facilities, though police have detained a man who worked at the hospital helping people navigate busy queues. State government officials have been accused of mishandling the case. If you are just joining us, this is the World News on Providence Television International. Dozens of Israeli settlers have set fire to houses and cars in the village in the occupied West Bank, with the Palestinian Health Ministry saying at least one person has been killed. The settlers, some of them wearing masks, threw rocks and Molotov cocktail as they attacked the village of Jit near the town of Nablus on Thursday evening, the Israel Defense Force say. The Palestinian Health Ministry said a local villager in his early 20s was killed and another person critically injured in the chest. Israeli political leaders condemned the attack, pledging to punish the perpetrators. The IDF said one Israeli national was detained in Jit. Footage has emerged on social media reportedly showing houses and vehicles set ablaze in Jit late on Thursday. Plumes of smokes are seen rising above the village. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said in a statement that those responsible for any criminal act will be caught and prosecuted. In a statement, the IDF said its forces were deployed in the village within minutes of receiving report of violence shooting in the air to disperse the crowd. Attackers were then removed from Jit. The IDF added that a joint investigation was launched by the forces, Israel Security Agency Shin Bet and the Israeli police following the serious incident. Palestinians regularly accuse Israeli security forces of allowing groups of violent settlers to attack their villages. According to OCHA, the UN Office for Humanitarian Affairs said there have been more than 1,000 attackers by settlers against Palestinians since October, with at least 1,390 people, including 660 children, displaced. Away from the foreign scene now, back home, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, says a total of 39 confirmed cases and 0 deaths from mpox has been recorded across 33 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Director General of the NCDC, Jide Idris, made the revelation at a press briefing on the declaration of mpox as a public health emergency of international concern on Thursday. He said the NCDC is intensifying surveillance across Nigeria to swiftly detect and respond to any new cases. According to Idris, the NCDC international airports, 10 seaports and 51 land and food crossing borders are on high alert. He added that some states have also been put on high alert, including Lagos, Enugu, Kano, Rivers, Cross Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Adamawa, Taraba and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization on Wednesday declared the mpox surge in Africa a global public health emergency, worried by the rise in cases in Democratic Republic of Congo and the spread of nearby countries. The WHO called a meeting of experts to study the outbreak and make a recommendation to the UN Health Agency's Director General Tedros Adhanom. The decision comes after the African Union's health watchdog declared its public health emergency over the growing outbreak. The National Judicial Council will send Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun's name today to President Bola Tinubu for his approval as the next Chief Justice of Nigeria. This is the next step following her recommendation by the NJC on Thursday during its 106th meeting, which was presided over by the outgoing Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwoola, who made the recommendation that her name be sent to the President for appointment as the country's next CJN. The NJC Director of Information Soji Oye disclosed that since the meeting had already been concluded, the next step was sending Justice Kekere-Ekun's name to the President for approval. This is imperative as Justice Aruwola will formally bow out of office as a CJN on Thursday, August 22nd, 2024. If approved by the President, Justice Kekere-Ekun will become the second female CJN in Nigeria, the first being Justice Miriam Mukhtar, who held the position from July 2012 to November 2014. Meanwhile, NJC also at its Thursday meeting made recommendation of 27 others as judges of the State High Court and one Kahid, whose names would be forwarded to other various state governors and the President for approval. As part of the commitment of a gas expansion and energy transition programs, Nigeria has signed an agreement on Gulf of Guinea pipeline project with the Republic of Equatorial Guinea. Providence Television News platform understand that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is on a 3-day official visit to Malabo, the capital of Equatorial Guinea, signed on behalf of Nigeria, while his host, President Teodora Obiang Nguema Sogo, signed for the country. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, said the agreement covered legislative and regulatory measures for gas pipeline establishment and operation, transit of natural gas, ownership of the gas pipeline, and general principles. Tinubu said the signing of the agreement will further open up new opportunities for gas exploration and employment. With that, we've come to the end of the world news. But before we go, let's take a look at some stories that make headlines. We brought to the report, we say dozens of Israeli settlers have set fire on houses and cars in a village in the occupied West Bank, with the Palestinian Health Ministry saying at least one person had been killed. The settlers, some of them wearing masks, threw rocks and Molotov cocktail as they attacked the village of Jit near the town of Nablus on Thursday evening, the Israel Defense Force say. And also, Indian doctors have called for a nationwide shutdown of hospital service as public fury over the rape and murder of a trainee medic in the eastern city of Kolkata last week rose. The Indian Medical Association, the country's largest grouping of medics, said the 24-hour shutdown will be implemented on Saturday, affecting most hospital departments except for essential services. And finally, Hurricane Esteno is heading for Bermuda, having crossed Puerto Rico, where it's left more than half of homes and businesses without power, with wind gusts of 100 mph. And Estelle has now strengthened to a Category 2 hurricane. The U.S. National Hurricane Center says it is its latest bulletin at 3 GMT on Friday. It warns that Ernesto could be near major hurricane strength on Friday and is expected to pass near to over Bermuda on Saturday. That's our package. Thanks for watching. Edna Cesar Garrick is my name. Good afternoon.